Hello, friends and or foes, and welcome back. Today we are reading The First Step is Always the Hardest, Chapter 2, The Next Step is Always Worth It. Here is the chapter summary. Izuku gets a call from his mother. He has a hard time processing this, and Aizawa helps. And let's just get into it. It was a painfully normal day when it happened, a mere weeks after Izuku told his teacher that he didn't want to go back home for the weekend. He hadn't been home since, and his mom never asked him about it. To be fair, he only had his mother's contact information out of necessity. He still expected something other than the usual radio silence. He really didn't know why he expected anything different. As a result, he was left to pick up his shattered trust by himself again. She didn't care that he was gone, probably grateful that he was out of her hair. This revelation was heartbreaking. He never expected that he'd prefer the silence over the call he got during lunch. He was eating while talking to his friends. Uraraka was chatting about some movie she saw the other week with Mina while the others listened. Izuku thought it was nice that she was spending more time with the other girls in class. Uraraka deserved to be happy, just like Ida and Todoroki did. After Hosu, Izuku was worried about Ida, but he seemed to bounce back relatively quickly. Todoroki, on the other hand. Izuku was still trying to figure something out for him. He hated the idea that his friend was still controlled by his abusive father. We should all go see a movie soon. I had so much fun with Mina, so I thought that we should too, Uraraka cheered, causing Izuku to zone back in. I agree. I used to go all the time with my brother when I was younger. It is a good bonding activity, Ida chimed in. I've never been to the movies, Todoroki stated, not prepared for the uproar that would cause from his friends. It didn't matter how many times they found out that Todoroki hadn't experienced something they deemed to be important childhood moments. They would always be surprised. It would be good if we went then, Karo, Sue said, earning a nod from Uraraka. It was fun to help Todoroki experience things. Izuku smiled. He hadn't been to a movie since he was 4 and saw an All Might movie with Kachan. Can I come too? Sue tilted her head. We already counted you in. Did you think we won it? Izuku stilled. Was it that obvious? Even he didn't realize it. I just wanted to say, I wanted to clarify that I wanted to go too. The excuse was shoddy at best, but he didn't have the time to think of anything better. Sue didn't look convinced, but she thankfully let it go. Of course you're going, Deku. It wouldn't be complete without you, Uraraka cheered, Ida nodding along with her. He scratched his neck sheepishly, about to respond when his phone started ringing. He was badly startled. The only people who had his number were his friends, who were sitting right beside him, his mother, Kachan, and Aizawa. None of these people were likely to be calling him. You should take that. We'll be waiting for you when you get back, Uraraka said, giving him his out. His other friends nodded along. Izuku politely left the table after that, looking at the caller ID. It was his mom. His heart started pounding. He stumbled out of the cafeteria, finding an empty hallway to peacefully take his call. Hope filled his chest. Hope for something. He'd be happy for anything other than silence. Whether that be her yelling at him, insulting him, or telling him to die. Anything. What he got instead was not that. When he answered the call, he was greeted by his mother's voice. It was directed towards him for the first time in years. It was cold. The lease ends in a month. Figure something out. She hung up. Izuku's heart stopped. What did she mean? The lease? Was she leaving? His breathing steadily quickened. If she was just going to up and abandon him, why now? When he was finally being useful, he had a quirk now. He was going to be a hero. He was going to give her all the money and status that she wanted. Why does she get to just leave? It wasn't fair. He slumped to the floor, phone in his hand and a dumbfounded expression on his face. He stared at the blank phone screen, willing her to call again and reveal that she was just joking. It wouldn't happen. He knew that, and yet. He heard the bell ring and people start to shuffle and move around him, but it all felt so distant, like it was happening in the background. After a while, he couldn't tell how long, the movement stopped, and he was left alone in the quiet open hallway once more. Problem child? Izuku flinched, looking to see his teacher. A worried gruffness surrounded the man. Izuku tilted his head in confusion. Huh? Aizawa sighed, slumping down next to Izuku. You didn't show up to class after lunch, Aizawa started, and it wasn't a question. He wasn't asking why. It was just a blank statement, as if he already knew why. Though Izuku knew it was likely an act. Izuku startled. What, class? I'm sorry, Aizawa-sensei. I really didn't mean to skip. It won't happen again, I promise. He attempted to stagger to his feet, already trying to lower himself into a bow. Aizawa waved his hand in a vague motion. It's fine, though I would like to know why. Sliding back down the wall into a sitting position, Izuku fiddled with his phone. My mom. She called me during lunch for the first time in a long time. Izuku gulped, hands shaking. She said I had a month to figure something out before the lease ends, but I don't know what to do. Aizawa stilled. What? I think she's going to abandon me. I know she never really cared, but I didn't think she would just leave. This isn't the first time she's left, but this time it's real. She's not coming back, and I'm scared, and I don't know what to do, Izuku rambled, his usual tears finally making their grand entrance cascading down his face in waves. He buried his face in his hands and tried to stifle his sobs. Aizawa turned to the side, shifting his body so that he was facing his sobbing student. Kid, you don't have to figure it out alone. We can help you. I can talk to Nezu about getting you more of a permanent situation in the dorms. It will be okay. I just need you to calm down for me, Aizawa said, pulling Izuku's hands from his face. Izuku was quick to latch around the pro-hero, catching him in a tight hug. Aizawa huffed but surprisingly didn't protest, patting Izuku's head with a gentleness that he'd never known. And in that moment, Izuku saw a glimpse of that imaginary parent from his childhood, the one who would protect him and treat him well. He felt safe. And later, Izuku would realize that Aizawa passed on his new knowledge about Izuku's mother to Nezu. A righteous fury bubbled just beneath the surface of the man's skin, and he was ready to pounce. His mother wouldn't get away scot-free, as strange as that was to him. An even stranger thing was that he couldn't find it in himself to care. And maybe one day he'd bring himself to tell Aizawa of the extent of it all. The bullying with Bakugo, his mother's neglect, and the accursed Aldera. But for now, he was content. After all, his newborn trust in Aizawa was just taking its first steps. His trust in the man would continue to grow. And for the first time since All Might told him he could be a hero, Izuku felt hope. So that's the end of it. I really like this fic. It's honestly so great. Just like, I don't know. I weirdly like bad Inko Midoriya fics, like where she's just like negligent or abusive. I like those fics, and I don't know why. I think I don't know. I think a lot of them just open the door to Izuku being adopted by Aizawa, which I really like Dad Zawa type fics. kind of like this, but like, you know, in longer fics especially, I like Izuku ending up like with Aizawa, and typically Present Mike as well, because they're married, and in my mind that's canon. It's a head canon, but it's canon, it's real. Sorry, anywho. But yeah, no. I really like this fic. It's sweet, it's short and sweet, but yeah, no. I will see you guys next time. Peace out, peeps.